need faith to get good at sales. One of the biggest deterrents I hear from people when they think about getting into sales is the fear behind the lack of guaranteed paycheck, because it requires them to pretty much just have full faith in the results that their work is able to produce, and sometimes faith in their company's ability to generate leads. So I'm going to take a moment to quickly talk about how I deal with this. For me personally, having a career in sales has just massively grown my faith in God and my overall patience. There's been many times in my really early sales career where just last minute sales that could only have been put together by God looking out for me was the reason that I was able to pay my bills on time. But the quicker I realized that God was always working things out for my benefit, and I would always turn back to the verses in Matthew chapter 6, 25 to 34, talking about not needing to worry about anything, having all your needs looked after, the quicker I realized that and kept turning back to it and remembering that, the easier it was for me to just let go of all the fear, let go of all the anxiety, let go of all the doubt that came with commission work, and just trust the process. Allowed me to spend real time fully developing my skills. And with the development of my skills, having to never be in any of those situations ever again. I felt called to make this video because I truly believe that faith is the most essential component to a successful long-term sales career. Faith that outreach will result in meetings. Faith that the sales process will result in a sale. Faith to see the conversations all the way through and not to prejudge anyone. Faith in the person and that they're actually going to take action to solve their problems once they purchase the service. And faith that no matter what happens, God's got my back and he'll never let me down in the grand scheme of things. There's really three verses that I think about when it comes to this, other than the chapter 6, 25 to 34 in Matthew. One of them is Jeremiah 29 verse 11, and it says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." Another really good one that I've really been focusing on lately, because a lot of times I go back and forth debating in my mind, and one thing that helps clear that up is in James 1:6, where it talks about, "Let him ask in faith with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind." And if you carry that down to verse 8, it talks about being double-minded. People that are like that get nothing at the end of the day. And then obviously just remembering what faith is in Hebrew 11 verse 1, where it says, "Now faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." I can confidently say I would not have the life I do without faith. I wouldn't have the courage to quit certain jobs when I felt called to. I wouldn't have the confidence to put certain things out into the world when it comes to even just making videos, and to go all in on things when I couldn't necessarily see the full picture, constantly putting in work and to see it come to fruition months or years down the line. And it wasn't until I released that God started to multiply, that he started to bless things, because I started to put the weight on him. All of this to say, my biggest times of growth ever came from fully letting go, putting in the work, and surrendering the result to God's plan.